name is Baljeet. Welcome to my channel where you do as I say and not as I do. Behind me is my 1999 Mitsubishi Eclipse RS 420A. This is the car that I'm going to be turning into the Fast and the Furious tribute car. So I don't know if you saw my last video. I diagnosed that the timing belt is broken on this car. So in this video, I'm going to be replacing the timing belt. And I looked on the internet and I couldn't find many videos for the 420A timing belt, like in detail, like from start to finish. There's a couple of videos that were pretty good, and I got the information from those videos that I need. So I'm gonna try to do my best and show you guys what I'm gonna be doing to change this timing belt. So let's get to it. So the first thing I did was I took off this inspection cover. You can take that off to see if you want to put the car on top that center and see where your timing is. And when check it, you can already see the belt is sagging. So the belt is pretty much loose. Oh, right there. See the belt? It's not tight. It's broken somewhere. So the next thing, what you need, basically it's just like any other 4-cylinder front-wheel drive car. You do have to support the engine because you're gonna have to take off this engine mount because the belt goes around it. So you have to take it off so you can take the belt off. If you you can watch any other videos. There's like I would suggest watching one for like a Honda Accord or a Civic. Because there's tons of videos, very detailed videos for those cars, and then you can get a kind of like a rough idea on like what is like the big things that you need to do. But there's other stuff like the timing marks and things like that. Yeah, you're gonna have to look that up on for this particular engine. So there's a couple of belts that are on the crank pulley. There is let's see, there's two belts. I already took one off. There's another one you can probably see right there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, right there. So I already took one off. So there's one belt for the power steering pump and the AC compressor, and then there is another belt on the crank which is for the alternator. The alternator is back here, right there. If you see that bolt right there, that's the bolt that tightens the alternator. So you have to back that bolt out, and that will loosen the belt for the alternator. So you can do this from the top. You don't have to get under the car. So you take those two belts off. Those two belts are on the outside. Let me show you from here. So if you see right here, see the crank pulley, and then so there's a belt on the outside. There's a belt that, let me show you guys. There's a belt that goes on the outer, and then there's the inner right here. So this one was for the power steering and the AC compressors right here as well, and then this other belt is going to the alternator. So if, first thing, you're gonna take those two belts off, and then so that way the harmonic balancer, this is called a harmonic balancer. It kind of helps with balancing the engine while it spins. Otherwise, if you don't have things like that, a balance shaft, your engine runs on like thousands of revolutions per minute, and you will just like shake the engine apart. So these things help it like run smooth. Engineering and stuff like that. I'm not an engineer, but I know some stuff with these with the engines and how they work. So this is probably like one of the hardest things, is you're gonna take this bolt off. Sometimes you have to like hold this harmonic balancer. They make tools for other cars. I'm not sure about this one. I do see there is a like this 3-spoke thing going, so maybe I can just put one of those claw things in there, and then get that bolt off. I'm just gonna try to hit it with my impact, and hopefully it'll just like it will back it out. So that's that. So you're gonna take the belts off, then you're gonna take this harmonic balancer off, then you're gonna start taking the timing chain cover. So there's usually like a upper timing chain cover, and a lower timing chain cover, and then there's one on the back side of it, like right there. So there's the front piece, and then there's a bottom piece down there, and then so then you got your cam gears and all the stuff in the belt, and you take that off, and then there's another cover. So we're not gonna have to take this off, because if you're gonna change the seals, I'm gonna look at them, and if the seals look good, I'm not going to replace them, because you know, if they're not leaking, there's no need to do that. I mean, you can do that, but I'm not gonna do that, because I feel like if they're not leaking and they're seated properly, I'm just gonna leave them. If they lasted this long, they will last a little longer. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off the belt for the alternator. Then I'm gonna jack up then I'm gonna try to take the harmonic balancer off. Then I'm gonna jack up the engine, and then I'm gonna take off this engine mount, and then so I can get to the timing chain cover. And then once I take the timing chain cover off, then we can start taking out the timing belt and replacing things like water pump and what are those called, idler pulleys and all kinds. I have like 2 pulleys that came with it. I think one is the idler pulley and the other one is a tensioner pulley. So I'm gonna take those out, replace those, and put the belt on. So hopefully it doesn't take that long. But yeah, I'm gonna bring you guys closer whenever I have to show you guys something. So I'm gonna get to it. Alright, so I got the alternator belt, and I wanted to share with you guys, like I said, I want trying to make a as detailed video as I can. So this bolt right there, that one is I mean, like the one that's sticking out, that is a 13 millimeters. So I tried a 10, too small. I was like, oh, it's a 12. Then it wasn't a 12, and then it was a 13. So just for, you know, somebody's doing it. So that's a 13 millimeter. And then what you have to do is you have to back that long bolt out as much as you can. I would say like a half an inch is good enough. And then there's that bolt right there. There's that bolt, and that's a 15 millimeter right there. So, and then you unloosen that, and then the alternator can move back and forth. Let me show you guys. So now the alternator can move. Let me see. Well, anyways, I can't do it with I apologize, I can't do it with one hand. But yeah, then it sits on this bracket right here, and then you can slide it back and forth, the alternator, and then the belt will come loose. I don't know, oh, if maybe you can see it from this angle. You see that how there's like a bracket on the back, and it slides. It's basically like, you know, how you put tension on the belt. So that back one, that one is 13 millimeter, and then that one was a 15 millimeter, and that's how you get the alternator belt out. Alright, move on to the next step. Okay, so that's the crank bolt. It's a 19. I have a 19 on this my impact gun. So I'm just I was able to get it loose, so I'm just gonna show you guys. I just hit it with the impact and didn't even take that much effort. Like I said, these usually the what do you call it, the crank bolts and the hub bolts are like my kryptonite. And anyways, if you see the Honda video, I explained it a little bit better what goes on. Like, I just can't get them off. But this one, here we go. So that's out. Let's see if this one just falls off. Let's see. Nope. So I'm gonna hit it with a hammer, a mallet, and see if it comes off. If not, then I have to get a harmonic balancer puller. Usually these just fall off, but not this one. So let's see. Alright, I tried hammering that a little bit, pulling on it, and it didn't want to come off. So what I did is I rented this. Backwards. So this is a harmonic balancer puller. You can rent tools like this from AutoZone or any local parts store. They usually have tools that you have to rent, so that way you don't have to like keep a bunch of tools. You can definitely rent. You can rent anything. You can rent sockets, you can rent wrenches, anything like that. If you need like big sockets or anything like that for some things, you don't even have to have tools. All you do is you pay the deposit, pick up the tool, and when you return it you get your deposit back. So it's free tool rental. So let me show you. This is for Mitsubishi and Chrysler, so this should work. So and save your receipts. I usually put my receipt in the box so that way it doesn't get lost. So what is this? This will clamp onto here like this, and then you will put one of these rods, depending on that, and then this screw will go in here. This screw will go in here, and then with this rod, and then when you screw this in, this will pull the harmonic balancer off. I'm sure you've seen this before, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. All right. So I tried using that tool to take this harmonic balancer off, and it broke the right here. Let me show you. So it broke the harmonic balancer where the jaw grips onto it, like right here, and here's the pieces. So there's the pieces that are chipping off. So maybe I'm grabbing on the wrong. Shouldn't grab on the edge. Maybe I should grab on the. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, so I'm definitely gonna need a new harmonic balancer, but that's okay. Just I gotta get this one off and then go from there. Like right here, if you can see what I'm talking about, is instead of grabbing it out here on the edge, I'm gonna try to grab it from a little bit further back and see if that makes any difference. And in the meanwhile, what I'm doing is I'm gonna let it soak for a little bit. I've used, what is that, PB Blast I use. That's like my preferred what do you call it, a lubricant for this type of stuff. But doesn't matter actually. I buy anything that's on sale, but happen to buy PB Blast whenever it's on sale because I do like it. But if I was in a crunch and didn't have PB Blast on sale, I'll just buy whatever's on sale out there. But anyways, yeah, I don't know what's going on. It keeps breaking the stuff. Maybe I'm grabbing it wrong, but I didn't want to mess up the grooves, and that's why I was grabbing it on the end, because I don't want to mess up the grooves. Maybe I need to rent. They make a little bigger one. It's like a claw that's gonna claw on the back of this right here, and then pull it that way. But there's not enough room in there anyways for none of that stuff. So I'll see. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Maybe I need to claw over here. I am not sure. Like I said, I'm not an expert on these things. But let me get to this and let you guys know. Just wanted to tell you guys what's going on and what I'm dealing with. So definitely gonna need a harmonic balancer, and I'm gonna let it soak on this PB Blast for a little bit. All right, I'll let you guys know what's going on. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. So this is what I am trying right now, is a different position. I think I had it wrong, but you live and learn, and when you're doing this stuff on your own, you do save a lot of money where you can budget for things that you break on an accident and you can replace it. Not sure how much this harmonic balancer is. I'm gonna guess, and I haven't looked it up yet, I'm gonna guess it's not that expensive, like maybe 40-50 bucks. It's just a piece of metal, nothing special about it. So instead of grabbing it on the end right here, which I think I did it wrong, I'm grabbing it on the inside. There are grooves that, like, you know, it clamps onto. So hopefully this works better. So for you guys, like I said, I didn't find that much information on this stuff. So like I said, I couldn't find a lot of information on this stuff. So that's why I want to make a video on what to do and what to look for, you know. So I think this is how it goes. As you can see, it's on the inside and clamping onto a thicker piece of metal, and then you have to use the right rod that goes in the middle for the lengthwise. So I'm gonna crank it down. I did let it soak for like a little bit, like a few minutes with PB Blast. Hopefully this will work. All right, here goes nothing. Okay, I got the harmonic balancer. Like I said, let me show you guys in person. So this is the back. Hold on. So this is the back of the harmonic balancer. So as you can see on the back side, it does have these slots. Like there's a slot there. You can clearly see there's a slot right there. So this hook supposed to hook onto the back. So I was doing it clearly wrong. So if you rented this tool, which is for Chrysler and Mitsubishi tool, like you can see, there has this little claws and they hook onto these little, there's grooves on each side. There's a groove there, there's a groove there, and there's a groove there. So this is the back of the harmonic balancer, and this is the front of the harmonic balancer. So as you can see, like right there, it hooks on the back right there. Don't make the mistake. And I can already see somebody tried doing this, because there's like pieces missing on the back of this harmonic balancer, and I didn't do this. This is like previously done. So since this does have a purpose of balancing this engine and it's missing pieces, I am going to get a new one, because this is a very important component of your engine, and when your engine is spinning at like thousands of revolutions per minute, this balances it, and also so the engine doesn't like just vibrate apart. So this does have like a really what do you call it, it's really important to have this one very well balanced and pieces not chipping off, just like your tires, you know. Like if you're that's why they put the weights. I don't know if you notice on your tires, they put the little weights when they balance it. So basically, you know, and I'm missing weights over here, so this is a pre-balanced part. And then when, like right here, I took a big old chunk right here off, it's right here. It goes right there. So yeah, so you know, with that said, it's missing the a lot of chunks like that one. And also, like, what I like, I know this is like I have like really weird quirks, but I do have really nice flooring. If you watch my flooring video, and I'm trying to like preserve this and not just like beat on it or get it like, you know. So I bought this tray. This was only $10, guys. That's like a cup of coffee or something like that. So I bought this for 10 bucks, like 10 or 12 bucks depending on where you go. AutoZone had it for 10, and I bought it from Kragen because AutoZone didn't have it in stock. So for 10 bucks, and this is a pretty big tray. And you know, like if you have a car, a project car that's sitting and then it's leaking oil, just like throw this under there, and that way you don't have to like worry about it. Or especially while I'm working on it, like debris is falling down on my floor, so it doesn't dirty up and it just falls in here, and I can just like clean this up or wash this out or something like that. So this is something I really like, and it's a small investment to save your garage floor. And I know I'm trying to do things right this time. And when I was younger, I used to cut corners and just be like, oh, whatever, I'll just wipe it down or whatever. And then once you go to wipe it down, it could be weeks or months later, and then you know, it already like seeped into your concrete or flooring or whatever, and it caused basically like permanent damage to your floor. Okay, so I got the harmonic balancer off, and now I'm working on the top, trying to get this engine mount off. So there's two nuts and a bolt up here. This was a 17, this was a 17. For whatever reason, this was a 19, just to let you guys know. And then there's one right here, and that's, hold on, right here, that's a 17 also. So you can get it out loose a little bit, but then I use an open-ended wrench to move it out. It can move out, but then you have this bracket right here. I guess it's supposed to be like a fail-safe, so if this bolt ever backs out, and so it doesn't come out. So it's like this was held up by two 12 millimeters, so right there, and then you have to take this out, and then the bolt will slide out. So let's see. So now this bolt should just slide out, and then bam. So now all that is done. So let me show you on the bottom. So as you can see, I'm holding my engine with a 2x4, and then that's a 4x4, and then a jack stand. And this same thing I did on the Honda. Just use my floor jack. I do have a engine hoist, and I was really close to pulling out my engine hoist, and then I was like, let me just use this because it's just easier. Engine hoist is for me is when I want to like pull engines out of the car. This is just supporting it while I'm working on it, so I should be fine. Even if it fails or comes off, the most that's gonna happen is this engine is gonna fall down. It might or may not break something on that side, but I'm willing to take that chance on this one. With that said, yes, so just wanted to show you guys, like I said, I want to make a very detailed video. I did not see many, so okay. So now this engine mount should just come off. There it is. Also, like one of the things that I noticed, if you have some kind of organization to where you're putting stuff, I do use one of those magnetic trays right here. I use one of these. I have a couple of these that I have just laying around. Harbor Freight usually used to give like free stuff, so I would pick up like lights, and then I noticed like this was really helpful. I have a couple of these one on my workbench, and then this one right here. So yeah, just put your bolts in here, and this magnetic, you can stick it on the body or anywhere, and then it also holds the bolts. But what I do is I keep things in piles. So this is my engine mount pile. So I got my all the bolts for the engine mount, and as I think there's crank bolt in there. This is for the crank, so I'll keep it here because I do know the crank one had the little thing. So now what I have to do is I have to get this bracket off. I'm not sure if I have to move this power steering pump out of the way or not, but it looks like I might have to, because I have to take this off because the belt is routed behind it. I believe so, it's routed behind it. But regardless, I have to get this cover off. I have to get this plastic cover off. I have to get this cover off, and I can't get this cover off without taking this off. So that's what I'm gonna do next. All right. Okay. So what you have to do is, I'm having some issues trying to get this part out, the motor mount that is connected to the block. There is a bolt down there that won't slide out. I might have to go check, or maybe ask somebody how they got that one out, because it's hitting the side of this the car and it's not coming out. I thought, okay, maybe it'll just slide out with the piece. So anyways, I took out all the bolts. There's like 2 bolts on the bottom for the engine cover, and I did have to remove this. This is let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So this piece right here, this is where where the power steering mounts onto this, and this also mounts onto the block. So I had to remove, there's like a 14 millimeter here and a 14 millimeter over there. So there was 2 of them, so you have to use extensions and then use it that way. So I did that and then moved it over, and then this is loose. As you can see, it's loose, but it's just not coming out. So I'm gonna take a break, maybe do some research, find out why this is not coming off, and I'll get back to you guys. I just wanted to show some details that, like, what's going on, as like, if you were trying to tackle this on your own, and what you can expect when you're doing this. All right, that was not a lot of work, but struggle. I would say it was a lot of struggle. Let me show you guys over here what I'm talking about. So this is the valve, this is the timing chain cover, and this thing goes this way. This is the bottom, that's the top, and this thing sits in there like that. And there is a bolt, this one, I will say, this bolt is in a really, lack of words, I don't want to say it, but messed up place. Okay, I'll be nice. In a very messed up place, because, or maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I do remember one of the guys that a video I watched, he did lower and jack up the car. Maybe I made a mistake. What I'm talking about is, I have this car, like I have that, hold on. So as you can see, I have it on a really long 4x4 I'm using to support the jack. Maybe I shouldn't have used such a big piece of wood, and like so I can have room to move the engine up or down. So I didn't think about that, because like I said, I didn't have that issue with the last timing belt I did. And of course it was a different car, like they're different under the engine bay, even though the things are the same, like, as far as like mechanically, timing belt and all that good stuff. So I am not sure how I'm gonna get that on there, but that's not I'll just figure it out as I go. I do have a engine hoist that I can use, so maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure. So the timing, like I said, the timing belt cover is off, the belt's all broken. everything came out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to clean this area as the best as I can, and then time it and change these idler pulleys, as well as I'm gonna take that tensioner off. It doesn't look like it's in a I'm gonna like look at it and see if it's even like working or not. Like, it looks pretty cruddy, so I might have to replace that tensioner right there. There's like, it's like a long thing with a pin in it, so I'll see what I have to do. But it is great, and it's not that bad. I mean, it didn't take me that long. I did took a few breaks to do this. So I did have to really move this not water pump, this power steering pump out of the way with the bracket and everything. And then so like that's also, I have to figure it out how to put that back, because there's no room over here. There's like, the room's really tight in this car. Room's pretty tight in this car as far as like right here, or maybe I don't know. I was trying to kind of muscling it out of the way, because there is a bracket that goes, that bolts onto the block, and that's, I'm worried about that bracket. Like, how am I gonna get that back on there? But we'll see. I mean, I got it off. I'm sure I can put it back on. It'll just take me some time and just like slowly do that. Other than that, looking pretty good. Like I said, I'm gonna clean this area, replace the water pump, and time these gears. I believe there is a timing mark. Where's the timing mark? So if you look at right there, there is like a little V cut right there on this gear. So that V is supposed to match with the V on this gear, and then that's when like, have to have it straight. Like, this has to be like straight, like, so this and this, they you have to move them and then face them like this. All right, so far I was able to get the water pump out and replaced, and all the idler pulleys and the tensioner pulley out and replaced. So one of the things that I want to show you guys, so all the bolts that are on the top for the water pump came out very easy, but there is a bolt behind down there. It's like right next to the AC compressor, if you have an AC compressor. That one was a very difficult one to get, and my advice for that one is to get that one out first, because if you do all the rest of them, then this pump kind of like hangs out, and it makes it a little bit difficult. So if you get that one out first and then get the rest out and do it backwards, put all the other ones on first and then get that one. I mean, I snugged all of them, yeah, these bolts, because they're just 10 millimeters. So I use a small 1/4 inch ratchet with just like a couple of my fingers, and I just put just enough pressure. You know, you don't want to break them, then you'll have a bad day. So you know, there's a pretty good O-ring that will seal it up. So as long as you get them snug and don't just over tighten them because you can just strip them and you're done, man. I mean, you're not done. You gotta have to pull the motor out and tap and drill and all that. That's just too much work. So snug is snug. I will use a 1/4 inch small ratchet, 1/4 inch ratchet, to be safe. I mean, and that's all will fit down here anyways. And then the other thing was, oh yes, when you're undoing this, before that, put a pan underneath, like a oil pan or some kind of a pan. I just go to dollar store and I have these. I'll show you guys what I use. So these I got, like, I have two of them, one there, one here. I have these. I bought these from the dollar store, and I've had them for a long time. I would say like like almost like 10 years I've had these pans. I used to do oil changes in these, but then I switched to the canister type where I can just like take it to the store and I don't have to like transfer the oil. But these are good to have, a couple of these around. So that's what I did. I just placed it right next to the jack right there, floor jack. And I mean, there was some water, I mean not water, coolant that dripped, but like I would say I got majority of it in this. So that's something that you want to put something underneath before you start taking out the bolts for the for the water pump. These were easy. These were super easy. Yes, one of the things that I did that I would recommend to you guys, and I made a mistake, is when you order your timing belt kit. I ordered it from Amazon. It's like a company called Mocha, and they had a decent reviews. And I also bought a timing belt from Amazon before, and it was fine. No issues. I mean, it's better than a broken belt, correct? So anyways, so one of the things that didn't come with the kit was the belt tensioner that goes down there. It's like it's held by like 2 bolts down there, and that didn't come with it, so I have to go buy that as well. So I'm not sure how much is that gonna be. So I know that if timing belt kit from AutoZone or like a good one was like around like $150-$200. So, and I paid $50 for this kit that came with the two pulleys right there, the idler pulley and then the tensioner pulley, and it came with the belt and the water pump, and it came with 3 different seals. I'm guessing it's like the main seal there, and then it's probably the 2 cam seals over here. Oh, I have cleaned up this area as best as I could. I used some brake cleaner, and let me show you guys. Actually, I want to show you guys this. Like, I have this little gadget that I've created. All right, this is what I use if I have to reach hard places. This was just like this blue hose came with one of the bug spray thing, you know, those gallon bug sprays that you buy from like Home Depot. It was on there. So what I did is I put it on one of these straws that you put on the brake cleaner cans, and then what I can do is I can just like hold it down and then just like direct this, like, you know, like to wherever I want. So like if I wanted it in there, I can like go in there. And so in order to time this this 420A, what you have to do is there is a little mark on this one, like right there, there's a little mark, and then there's a little mark right there on that one. So these have to like match, they have to face each other, and then they have to be in a straight line as good as you can. I mean, you know, like one or like a little bit, it's not gonna like matter. What you can do is you can get this one straight. So what you can do is you can get this one to be like straight, and then this one look as close as you can, and then you put the belt on, and then you have a wrench on this nut, and then you can adjust it and then put the belt on, then the belt will hold this in place. One neat little trick that I saw on the internet or on one of the YouTube channels, I don't know if I can do this on here or not, was if let's say if I didn't have this back cover on here, and you can put this belt on and you can use zip ties to hold it in place. I thought that was super neat. I'm gonna try to do that. I can probably sneak zip ties behind here and then like wrap it around, so that way like this stays in place while you're trying to put the belt all the way around, so that the belt goes here, then it goes here, then it goes around the water pump, and then it goes around the water pump, and then it goes around the crank, and then it comes back up, and then it goes here. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna torque these this and this as well as these two, and then I'm also gonna put the belt tensioner on. I mean, I'm just gonna like put it on there, like set it on there. I'm not gonna bolt it on. So these bolts are supposed to be torqued at 25 foot-pounds of torque, so I'm gonna set mine. It's at like 23, so I'm just gonna go like 25. All right. I did put some Loctite on there, some blue Loctite, this one. This blue Loctite on the threads, just like that's like a tad, like just like tiny bit. So these are all done. Alright, so I got the belt on. These tensioner pulleys, I torqued them down to approximately 25 foot-pound, 25, 26 foot-pound. And then the tensioner down there, the thing with the pin on it, I torqued those down to like 20, 22 foot-pounds of torque. So the best way that worked for me, I tried everything. I tried putting the belt from the top first, then to the bottom and everything. So the best way for me was to put the belt, let's see. So I torqued these two bolts down to 22 foot-pounds of torque. I did put blue thread lock on all the bolts that I've been putting back on there. So what I did is I put a crowbar and I pushed this up and I tightened this by a hand, and then I pushed it a little bit harder and pried it, and then I tightened it more, and then so that's how I got it to be tight. I still have a pin in there, I haven't installed it. And then so what I had to do is, there's right there, I had to slide. Let me see if I can put this light back here. Okay, so what I had to do was slide the belt down here first, put it down here, and then route it up towards the water pump. And then so there is the mark right there, as you can see. It is lined up right there. And then let's go up and see. So as you saw, it was lined up there, and then right here, as you can see right here, let's see. So there's the marks, there's the mark right there, and then the other mark is like right there. So they're very close. I'm gonna say maybe half a tooth off, if not, but I think that's gonna be fine. So I got the timing belt cover on. So quick tips for you guys. So yeah, you do have to be able to lower and raise the engine. The bolt was back there. It's actually back there. There's a bolt that's like really hard to get because it hits this inner fender structure of the car. So let me show you that. I don't know if you can see that bolt back there, right there. That one. So what I had to do is raise the engine up, not the car, sorry, the engine up, in order to get the bolt to slide in. What I did is I actually put it on here, and then I worked it, it's like, kind of like worked it in there. So you're just gonna have to figure that one out. I just want to warn you that that's gonna be a struggle. What I didn't try, because like I mentioned earlier, that I have the engine on a really big piece of 4x4, so I can't lower it. So don't make that mistake. So give yourself give yourself enough room to be able to lower the engine and raise the engine at least about 6 to 12 inches. So maybe if you lowered the engine rather than raise the engine, you might be able to get it out from the bottom. So I didn't try that because the engine was already on the jack, so there was no way for me to be able to do that. So I was just stuck with the options that I had, but I was able to get it on there. The belt's on there. It's a little loose up here, but I don't know. It's my first time doing this, and I haven't done this ever before, so we'll just see. But everything, the timing is good. It's tensioned everywhere else. Other than that, what else can I tell you? Yes, this bracket was a little difficult. What I had to do was just move this power steering pump all the way out in order for me to get this on there. So next thing what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the So I was trying the the install kit that I rented from AutoZone, and it wasn't working. So what I did is, so this is the original So this is the crank bolt that is the original, and this is what I bought. So as you can see, like it's that much bigger. So this is I bought. This was like $4 at the hardware store. It is an M12 thread. So I'm gonna use this to put the harmonic balancer on. I might use like a little socket or something like that, or washers. I do have washers to as a spacer. So we'll just see. So I'm gonna start doing this. Spinning the crank. It started to spin the crank, so I'm gonna see. Yeah, so I can catch some thread. So we're gonna use these washers now with this socket. So you don't want to use the impact to do this because you can damage the threads or something like that. So I can see, I can feel it. Before I used to be able to get my finger between the harmonic balancer and then the block, but now it's I can't even get anything, like maybe a nail. So it's definitely going in. So I think now it's safe to put the bolt. Okay, I got good news and I got bad news. The good news is I changed the timing belt and I went pretty good, and I think I can do it again. And the bad news is I'm gonna have to do it again. The reason is I changed the timing belt, and everything, I checked it, I turned it over several times to make sure there was nothing binding and the timing marks were correct. And then went to go start the car, it wasn't starting. So the next thing was I did a compression test on the motor to make sure why I'm still not getting spark. I make sure I was getting fuel at the fuel rail, and the cylinder 1 and 3 have 0 compression, and 2 and 4 actually have 190, which is actually pretty good, that's good compression. So I have a feeling, or not a feeling, it's just like that we all know what happened. So we're gonna have bent valves. So hopefully, that's what I think it is. And so what I'm gonna have to do is I have to or what I'm going to do, what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be taking off the head and see if we have bent valves or not, and then go from there. So this is it for this episode. I was hoping to give you guys some good news, but I hope you enjoy the content. You at least get to see how to do a timing belt on a 420A with the engine in the car, and if you were doing it at home with tools that readily accessible to anybody. So that was the goal of this video. I think I did meet my goal, the goal for the video, but the end result was not what I was expecting. So hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It will really help me out. Other than that, look forward to me taking this head off. I'm basically gonna have to take the timing belt off again, go through that process. I'm not gonna film that, but look forward to me taking this head out of this car and see what's going on, and see what's coming, what is coming next for this car. Other than that, hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next one.